Prasad here. In the previous lectures we have seen these 4 tokens in detail, and in this lecture we'll be covering up operators. Okay, now you people have to understand one thing first of all, that this is a very important thing to understand for any programming language. Okay, so make sure you have very good understanding of operators before writing programs on your own. Okay, so technically speaking, operators operate on operand. Okay, this is its definition. Okay, and what is operand? For example, if there is a variable a having value 100 and another variable b having value 200, and if you write c is equal to a plus b, what does it mean? That add the value of a and b and store it in c. Simple. And of course the value of c will be 300. So in this particular statement, the plus sign is the operator, and on which thing this operator is operating? It is operating on a and b. Okay, so we can say plus is an operator and a and b are the operands. Fine. The equal to sign is also an operator. Okay, it is operating on c, and whatever result we get here as the addition of a and b. Okay, so operators operate on operand. I hope the meaning of the word operand is clear to you now. Okay, there are 2 types of operators. One is called unary operator, the other one is called binary operator. Unary operator operates on only one operand, and binary operator operates on 2 operands. What do we mean by this? Okay, we just have to understand that we require only one operand for unary operators. We will see later on in the upcoming videos that what are the unary operators and how do they work. But for now we'll be concentrating mainly on binary operators. So as far as binary operator is concerned, you have to remember that it requires 2 operands. Fine. So in this example we can say plus is a binary operator because it is operating on 2 operands, and that is a and b. Okay, the next category, in fact the first category in operators, is arithmetic operators. Okay, we know them very well already, so let us discuss them. Addition we use plus, for subtraction we use minus, for multiplication we use the asterisk sign, and for division we use forward slash, this sign. Okay, we have already discussed modulus operator, so let us recall it one more time. This example which I have written shows the usage of modulus operator. So it is often gives confusion with the division operator. Like in the example I have written int I equals to 10, int j equals to 2, and I am getting the quotient here. Remember that I will be divided by j, that is 10 will be divided by 2, and the answer 5, the quotient 5 will be stored in k. So the value of k will be 5. But if in the same statement we use modulus operator, so what it will do, it will not store quotient, it will give us a remainder. Okay, so 10 is divided by 2, and since the remainder is 0, means 10 is fully divisible by 2. Okay, so 0 is stored in c, so c will be 0. So we often get confused between these two operators. So please remember what is the difference. Okay. Now, as far as the arithmetic operators are concerned, the understanding is quite simple, but there are a few interesting things that you should always keep in mind before dealing with them. Okay. The first thing, division of two integer numbers will always give integer result. Remember that. Okay. In this example, I have written int a is equal to 5 divided by 2. Of course, it will give us quotient, but there is a big problem here. 5 divided by 2 is mathematically 2.5, but we cannot store 2.5 in a because its data type is int. You remember int data type? It does not allow us to store fractional numbers. So what it does is it divides 5 by 2 and stores the result 2 instead of 2.5 in a. Okay, it seems that the system simply ignores the fractional part which comes here, but the interesting thing is, does this calculation give the result as 2.5 and then 0.5 is cut and 2 is stored in a? The answer is no, nothing such happens. What really happens is 5 is an integer number, 2 is another integer number, and when integer number is divided by another integer number, the result is always an integer number. Always remember this. Okay, so what we are getting here is 2, not 2.5. okay, and then that 2 which we are getting here is stored in this integer variable a, which has no problem storing it. Okay, so this is how we are getting value 2 in a. So the point is clear to you. The next thing is, what if I use double data type in the same calculation? Earlier we had integer data type associated with a, now we have double data type. It seems that now we are going to get 2.5 as we have taken double data type here, but the answer is again no. And you have to understand this thing in the same manner that integer divided by integer is always integer. So what we get here is again 2. Since 5 is an integer number, 2 is another integer number, and integer divided by integer. Okay, this is what is happening here. So we get 2 as the result here, and that 2 will be assigned or will be stored in this variable a. And since a is a double type of variable, this 2 is automatically converted into a double type of value. So instead of getting 2, what we actually get is 2.0. So I hope the point is clear to you. Okay, the next point is what we have already discussed in the earlier lectures, but let us see it one more time. If you declare a float type of variable and you want to store some value in it, you must attach small f to it, just like the way I have written here. If you remove this f from this declaration, this line will not be understood by the Java system, by the Java language. Why? Because by default all the fractional values, all the decimal values like this are considered as of double type. Okay, this is what is the setting in Java, you can say. So in order to tell that treat this language, treat this value as float type value, you must do something here, and that something is this little f sign. Okay, so that's why with floats we have to do this. But if we are declaring a double type of variable, say d, containing some other value, do we need to add a d here? The answer is no, because this value is by default considered as double, and we are assigning this value to a double type of variable only. So this is perfectly alright, but here you have to attach this f. Just remember this thing. Regarding modulus operator, there is one more interesting thing which I have shown here in the example. If you write like I have written int a is equal to 2 modulus 5. Okay, of course the modulus operator will give us the remainder of this calculation, but what will it be? Now you have to understand that the smaller number is being divided by a larger number. Okay, so whenever this happens and you are using modulus operator, the remainder will be this number. The smaller number will always be the remainder. Remember, if we write something else like int a, we write int b is equal to 99 modulus 15,555. So what will be the value of b? It will be 99. Okay, because again the smaller number is being divided by the larger number and we are using modulus operator, so the smaller number itself will be the remainder. So just keep this thing in mind. Okay, so these are some important points. There is one more thing in Java language, that whenever you write statements like this one, okay, a is equal to a plus 10, it can also be written like this. Both are same. It is just the style preference or the language setting, or with whatever format you people feel comfortable. Okay, so there is no difference between this and this. So what I have written is a plus equal to 10, which means a is equal to a plus 10. Same way you can use the other ways. For subtraction operator, you can use a minus equal to 10 to deduct 10 from a and store it back in memory location a. Okay, so I have written it here, same as a is equal to a minus 10. Same way you can use the other operators, arithmetic operators, to do the same job. Okay, so in Java it is called shorthand notation whenever you are using these things. So I hope the concept is clear. So that was the explanation of arithmetic operators. The second category of operators we have is called relational operators. Now what do they do? Relational operators compare two values. Remember that they compare two values and they give the result in the form of either true or false. Okay, so how to understand this? First of all, look at these operators. This is less than, greater than, less than equals, greater than equals, not equals, and assignment is what we call it. So we have these relational operators. Okay, let me write their names one by one. This is less than, this one is greater than, oops, this is less than or equal to, this is greater than or equal to, this is called not equal to, and this one is called, sorry, comparison. Okay, I think earlier I said assignment with this, so sorry for that. It is called comparison operator. Okay, now the idea of relational operators is this, that the result is always in the form of true or false. That's it for relational operators. So how do we use them? If we write 6 greater than 7, the result is going to be false. Okay, if we write 8 greater than equal to 8, the answer is true, because 8 is not greater than 8 but it is equal to 8, so it will give us true result. Okay, we can use not equal to operator, like for example, if I write 4 not equal to 5, the answer is true, because yes, 4 is not equal to 5. And if you write 7 not equal to 7, the answer is false, because 7 is equal to 7. So this is how we use relational operators. Okay. The third category of operators is called logical operators. It basically contains 3 operators. Okay, let's discuss them one by one. First is called the AND operator, and this is its symbol. What does it do? It works on 2 statements, remember. Okay, it works on 2 statements and gives the result again in the form of true. First let me clear this thing. Logical operators combine 2 statements. Okay, earlier what we saw with relational operators, they combine or compare 2 values, and here what we are looking at, they combine or compare 2 statements, the logical operator. So you have to understand the difference between statements and values, so you will come to know about it. And they too return the result in the form of true or false. So the first logical operator we are going to look at is AND operator. So this is its symbol. There is no space between these 2 signs. It is often misunderstood by, it is often called by some beginners as AND. Okay, don't call it AND. This is called AND operator simply, and there is no space anywhere in between. Okay, so this is one single operator. So what does it do? Of course it is going to give us either true or false, but there is a condition. It gives the result true only when both statements are true. Okay, it gives the result true only when both statements are true. So what does it mean? If your first statement is true and second statement is false, you are going to get false as the result. If the first one is false and second one is true, even then you are going to get false result. If both statements are false, of course you are going to get false, and if both are true, then only you are going to get the result true here. So is it clear to you? So what do we get out of it? If any of the statements is false, you are going to get false. Okay, so for example, we are checking this. Okay, what is the statement here? This whole thing is one statement, and the second thing is a second statement. So how do we solve it? First of all, we'll solve this. 6 greater than 5. So what is the result? True. Yes, 6 is greater than 5. Then we write AND, and what do we get here? 7 less than 17. Yes, and true is going to be ultimately true. The second example, 6 greater than 5. Yes, so we write true. We write AND operator. Then 7 greater than 17. No, it is false. So we write false. And since we have got a false value, we can conclude that the ultimate value is also going to be false. So I hope the AND operator is clear to you. The next operator is the OR operator. Okay, its symbol is like this. Okay, this is called pipe sign. Actually, it is positioned just above your enter key on your keyboard. So just take a look at this. And again, there is no space between these two vertical lines. Okay, so it is called one single OR operator. So it also gives us either true or false, but on what condition? The result true will be obtained only when any of the statements is true, or simply if any one statement is true, you are going to get the result true. Okay, so when is it false? Of course, when both the statements are false. So this is OR operator. Okay, let's take an example. 6 greater than 5 is true. We write OR. 7 greater than 17. No, it is false. So we write false. And since we have got one true, so we don't have to look at the rest, we can conclude that the ultimate result is going to be true. Okay, and in this example, 6 less than 5 is false, or 7 greater than 17 is also false. So since we are getting both false, so we can conclude that the ultimate result is going to be false. Okay, so this is OR operator. The last logical operator is called NOT operator. Okay, and NOT operator is a unary operator. Remember, okay, which means what? That it operates on single operand. How? Let me show it with this example. So I have written NOT and the rest inside a bracket. So the bracket will be solved first, NOT will be kept as it is. So 6 less than 5, no, it's false, so I have written false. The OR operator comes as it is. 7 less than 17, it is true. So we are getting false or true. And since it is OR operator and one of the statements is true, the ultimate result is going to be true. So we have written true, and we have kept the NOT operator as it is. Now the NOT operator will function on this one operand that we got here. Okay, which is what? It will simply be reversed. So not true will be false. Had it been not false, the answer would have been true. Okay, so this is how the NOT operator functions. There's one last interesting thing about the logical operators, that is the priority order. Okay, what if all the logical operators are combined in one statement? Okay, let me write this example for you. For example, if I write true or false and true or true, not false, or not true. Okay, so this is what we have to solve. Now since we do not have brackets anywhere in this statement, we have to understand which operator gets executed first. Okay, so to solve it, let me first write the priority order here. The highest priority among logical operators is given to not operator. Then comes AND operator, and then at the last we have OR operator. Do remember this order guys, because often we get confused in this type of statements. Okay, so the highest priority is given to not, then the second position AND operator, the third position is the OR operator. Okay, so this is the priority order. So how do we solve this? First of all, we'll solve all the not operators. So let me write it here, and I will solve this and this first. Okay, so rest I'm keeping as it is. True or false and true or true, not false will become true. Let me make some correction here in the question. Let me put an AND operator here. Okay, that makes sense. So this much portion will be written as it is here, and this I have solved, and it has given us the value true. Opposite to false is true. OR is written as it is, and not true will be written as false. Okay, now not operators are all gone. We can now look at the AND operators. So in this next step, I'm going to solve this and this. Okay, so what will it be? True OR. This will give us what result? False, because it is the AND operator, and if one of them is false, ultimately it's going to be false, so I have written false here. Then OR operator, then I'm going to solve this. It will give us the value true. Okay, quite easy. And then I will write OR false. So in this whole statement, now you can see all the way we have OR operators. So you just have to look at if you have any single true value here. So we have one, so we can conclude this here only, that the ultimate result is going to be true. Okay, so this is how we can decide priority order among logical operators. Okay, so I hope these operators are clear to you. It's very important in Java programming and in any other programming language to have a very good understanding of these operators. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed the lecture, and if you have any query, please do let me know in the comment section below. Please do like and subscribe this video if you have liked the content. Thank you so much.